It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a real pleasure to have the second signing class. And I just can't compliment our assistant coaches enough for the job they've done. It's been a tremendous effort, and we're very excited about this signing class. I think it's certainly an outstanding group of young men. They're all kind of unique. All signing classes are a little unique. You have different needs and so on and so forth. But I think the thing that's special about this class, the quality of young men that we have, tremendous character, and the parents we were able to get in touch with and to meet, you just knew these guys were going to be special. And that's very exciting for our group to coach and have them come in here. We know they're going to stay and be a very outstanding group of young men. Very athletic, can run, can catch, just as you would expect Texas high school players to be, and these players are no exception. I have notes that we have 8 from the greater San Antonio area. We know we started to work from San Antonio out. 8 players from this area. We have 7 from the DFW Metroplex. That's an increase for us. And again, having 9 full-time coaches has made a huge difference there. 5 from Houston, 4 from Central Texas, and 2 from East Texas. So we've kind of, covered a lot of the state of Texas, but for sure we've had a really successful time here in San Antonio, which we need to do and we want to do and expect to do every year. Again, I just can't say enough about our assistant coaches, what they've done, the work they've put in, and they've just done a fabulous job. And I think one thing this year, probably better than last year, the evaluation. I think our guys did a great job of evaluating talent and really picking up some outstanding players. We have, I think, 29 signees. We have 26 from the prep ranks from high school. We have 3 from junior college. All 26 of the high school young men are from the state of Texas. We have 9 All-Staters. We have, an area we concentrated on was defense. That's kind of interesting to note that the top 2 teams in professional football, those 2 teams that are going to play Sunday, are number 1 and number 2 in defense in the National Football League. So the old cliche, you sell tickets with offense and you win games with defense. I think we've really helped ourselves defensively. We needed to do that, and we're very excited about our young men coming in defensively because of their running ability especially. Just briefly, I guess I just want to touch base on these young men briefly that we've signed. First of all, out of, and this is just in no particular order other than alphabetical order, the fact that we've signed Frankie Anaya out of junior college in California. That's something we wanted to do. We're a young team. We're very young. In 2012, we're going to be Division I. So we've really needed some maturity and a little age on our team, and Frankie's going to give us that. Defensive lineman, outstanding player. I think blocked several kicks in his career and also several tackles throughout his career at junior college. He has a teammate that's already here. We'll talk about him in a minute. He's from Pierce Junior College. But in secondly, Kenny Bias. Kenny's from Stevens. Outstanding defensive back, outstanding receiver. Will play receiver for us. And, again, Kenny can be a game changer. Christian Bryant from Klein Forest from the Houston area. Christian is a defensive end, very active player. Has been tight end, defensive end. He has a great value as a player for us. Drew Douglas, coming from Garland, Texas. Drew, linebacker, defensive end, linebacker, athletic, speed guy, playmaker. Interesting player out of Trimble Tech in Houston, in Fort Worth, Jordan Gray. Jordan is a wide receiver, moved to tight end, a 225-pound guy, much like players I've had at Miami, much like Kellen Winslow or a Jeremy Shockey type player. I'm not sure. Jordan may play defensive end for us. He's going to have outstanding size, and again, he's very athletic. He's an interesting signee for us. Kenny Harrison. Kenny's one we actually signed late, came in late on out of East Texas. We were able to really do a good job with him to get him in the fold. One of the most electric football players that I've had an opportunity to see. Kenny is coached by Jerry Bennett. I know Coach Roark knows Jerry very well. They coached together at SMU, and Jerry says, Coach, this guy is a Big 12 type player, and I think he is. I think the thing that Jerry Bennett player, Jerry says he can play, they normally play. And so we were excited to have Kenny Harrison. Sean Hessler. Sean's a defensive back for us. Sean, outstanding track athlete. He's a basketball player, track athlete, very, as I said before, all these guys, very athletic, outstanding speed. Demetrius Jacobs. Demetrius is an interesting signee for us because Demetrius, coming out of Brookshire Royal High School, at the end of the process, had several people stopping by to see Demetrius and try to maybe steal him from us. And Demetrius stayed strong, stayed with us, played offense, defense, and I think you'll see a lot from Demetrius. Demetrius for us will start out free safety, but he will definitely be on the field. Chris Johnson. Chris was in a recruiting class last year. Chris actually is here in school now from East Central High School. Chris is one of the outstanding running backs in the state of Texas. And Chris had certain Big 12 offers, and we're very excited to have Chris, able to maintain him and to keep him, and to actually have him in the fold now and have him with an opportunity to go through spring practice. Joseph Lascano. Joseph, another one of those that very highly recruited, and a lot of people came in to try to get in on Joseph. Safety for us. Joseph, a very physical player, and I was in Joseph's home with Coach Menifee a few nights ago, and he's going to be an outstanding player. The more you see of Joseph, the more you really realize how good that he is and can be. Josiah Monroe, one of the smaller players we've recruited, but again, one of the more electric players we've recruited also. And I know just recruiting Josiah, Josiah's coming to us from Bastrop High School, a very good football program there. I went and saw with Coach Jeffrey and saw Josiah play basketball, and the guy is a very, very exciting player on the floor. Small, much like a Roscoe Parrish I had at Miami, much like a Santana Moss I had at Miami. Playmaker, make things happen, and it's going to be a great player for us. David Morgan. David Morgan comes to us from Marble Falls. He is a tight end and wide receiver. I went and watched David practice basketball. I didn't see him play, saw him practice. He has hands that are about this long. He's a very physical player, and David is going to be much, again, like a Jeremy Shockey, I feel like, or a Kellen Winslow type player, that type tight end. A guy that can play tight end, can play wide receiver, outstanding athlete, great character, and again, he's going to be a special player. Jason Neal, defensive lineman. You never have enough defensive linemen. Jason's going to be one of those special players. He was a defensive player of the year in his district, which that says a lot. If you're a defensive player of the year in that district, you're pretty doggone good. And we think Jason's going to be one of those type players. Quarterback Ryan Polite. We want to recruit a quarterback every year, and to have a player like Ryan Polite in this class, I think is going to be outstanding. He's the 9th player in Texas prep history to throw for 10,000 yards, and that really says a lot. Committed to us early, stayed the course, outstanding family, and very excited to have him. He's also the ESPN Dallas, Texas 5A prep player of the year, and says a lot about Ryan Polite. Brandon Reeves. Brandon's here now. He's on campus now, coming out of junior college, out of Pierce Junior College in California. One of the most active players we saw and evaluated on film. We really liked the way his athleticism. He attacks the football. He plays like a linebacker is supposed to play, and he's going to give us great. I hate to say depth because we don't have depth at linebacker. He's going to give us an opportunity to really be a special linebacker for us because he's very active and he is definitely a playmaker. Peyton Ryan. Peyton is a young man, again, that's kind of interesting because Peyton was an athlete, a running back, ended up playing as an offensive lineman. He's a 210 guy, 250, and I think 270 when he came in on his visit a few weeks ago. 4'8" guy, 4'7", 4'8", offensive lineman. I kind of got word that he may be a defensive end because he's very athletic and very fast. Quality family from a great program, Smithson Valley, Coach Hill's program at Smithson Valley, and we think we have an outstanding player in Peyton. Mauricio Sanchez. Mauricio was probably one of the neatest home visits I've ever been in. We're in Mauricio's house with his father, his sister, his brother is an engineering student, was there. And Mauricio, I asked him, Mauricio, what are your goals? What do you want to do? He says, Coach, I want to be a football coach. Well, I questioned his sanity then, but Mauricio was very adamant about what he wants to do. Loves football, And I will tell you, the players and the young men, the people that know Mauricio, they love him because he's going to be an outstanding player. Malcolm Scott, defensive back, wide receiver, return man from Tom Ball in Houston. There's really not much that Malcolm Scott can't do. And I think as you see all these guys, they're really going to be special, really help us in the return game on special teams. And Malcolm is definitely one of those. A very physical player. And, again, very, very exciting player to watch on tape. Jake Smith, defensive back, again, from Geyer. I think most of you know the type program that Geyer has. They're either in the playoffs or win championships every year. And I'll tell you, Jake's going to be a tremendous addition for us. Blake Terry, also from Geyer. Blake was one that, again, was a big linebacker that we need. He's a 225-pound linebacker. I watched Blake practice basketball. And again, very heavily recruited young man, and to get Blake has been a huge signing for us. He's an outstanding linebacker. He's an outstanding student, and really a good, good football player, and also a good basketball player. Alondre Thorne, again, one of those smaller players, but very active, return man, and very active in as far as offense, defense, can do a lot of things. A very valuable player. Josh Walker, in Josh's home it's been I guess a few days ago now. Josh, mother's a good cook. We had a little jambalaya and gumbo and a lot of good things in the home. And but Josh is, I think, a 300-pound lineman. He's a very smart player and a very highly recruited player. It's going to be really, I think, a good addition for us. We need offensive linemen. You never have enough big guys, and he's a big guy that can move, very intelligent, very smart player. Josh Ward. Maybe the most valuable signing we have, Josh Ward, is a punter and kicker. Will be a punter for us, and really has done a great job. And just he's been at the camps he's been at. He's been one of the most valuable players at the camps, and it's going to be really a special player for us. We needed that addition for us. Terrence Wilman from San Marcos. Terrence is a running back, and Terrence is a guy certainly in a very good program there, but definitely. You never have enough good running backs. And I know you think, well, we're maybe overloaded a little bit with running backs, but you never have enough of those guys. I know, and they can all be successful at this level. I know looking back at Miami, we had when Clinton Portis and Frank Gore and Willis McGahey were all on the same team, all on the same, virtually competing on the same level, and all three are now playing in the National Football League. So, again, you never have enough good running backs, and we feel like we have some good ones now. Another one, Tevin Williams. Tevin, we honestly felt like we were going to lose to Northwestern, and we got Tevin late. A great job, a great coup getting him from a great program, Euless Trinity. They have great teams every year. Tevin, an outstanding student, and again, one of the top running backs in the state of Texas. Played for the state championship this year. Troy Williams, Troy from Madison. I think most of you know the type program that Madison has. Coach Streety does a phenomenal job there. Outstanding, not only running back, he's in the backfield with Green, but really probably a more complete running back, an excellent blocker, got great hands, and certainly can run the football. But again, we're really excited about this class. Our goal is going to be to upgrade every year, and without question, we feel like definitely we've upgraded this year. And I'll open up for questions that you might have about any of these guys, and our coaches are going to be here if you'd love to talk with them after the meeting. Questions?
Larry, last year, I remember you telling me that obviously you only had 3 assistants last year, and guys would show up, and I don't know if you were being sarcastic or not, but you told me at one point you were asked, was this a flag football team or what? You know, people didn't know quite what it was. Can you talk about the difference from last year to this year, the type of reception you guys got?
Well, I think the difference, a big difference, is the fact that not only numbers but a quality of people that are out there, and that's been the fun thing to go out, because they not only are outstanding recruiters and coaches, but they're great ambassadors for this university. I mean, they really have done a terrific job. And you go out and you talk to people, coach. They start naming off the coach that recruits the area, what a wonderful person he is, and what a great job he does, and that just says a lot. So it's really shown, I think, in the Dallas area, East Texas, and it's only going to get better. And then obviously in Houston, and still here in San Antonio.
Coach, what's the feeling like now? You know pretty much what your roster looks like, maybe a few additions over the summer going into now the fall.
Well, I like this roster. Again, we're still a work in progress. We're going to be young, as everybody knows. We're very, very young, but we have an outstanding group of young players that we've got to develop. I think the thing that's happened going to Division I in 2012, we've recruited better. We have a lot more interest from recruits that want to come and play for us, and it's going to help us coach better. And all those things are out there, and it's just in our grasp. And it's the reality of it now. And this thing a year ago, it was still a little bit of a pipe dream. Yeah, it's going to happen, but it's a long way away. And now the clock's ticking, and this thing is real. We're getting ready to go into spring practice here in a few weeks. Our guys are in the weight room now that they weren't last year. They weren't even here. The only thing I wish we had all those guys with us now. We could put them in the weight room and help them grow and be a part of it, because we're still in the process of setting the culture and making sure we're doing things the right way. And we'd love to have them here, but again, it's a good group, and it's going to be a great group to work with.
Can you talk a little bit more about locally, how you feel you guys have done? Obviously, this was I've been here for 10 years, and I can't remember a class that was even close to being this top-heavy. I don't know how realistic it was to get some of those guys, but overall, how do you feel like you guys did? And maybe not specific names, but do you feel like you missed out on anybody that you would have liked to have had?
Well, I'm sure there's nobody comes to mind. I think, there are a couple we did miss out on that we've recruited. And, that's always going to happen. You're not going to get everybody. Somebody asks sometimes, did you get everybody you want? Well, no, you don't get everybody you want. But I think this was a good year in San Antonio. I know we had some high-profile players that went some places. I think also we got some players that we feel like once they're here, you're going to see they're going to be high-profile players. I always look back at the stars always amaze me a little bit, the 2-star, the 5-star players. And I just think about some of the great players that I've been fortunate enough to be around that were no-star players. Barry Sanders was a no-star player, and he's in the Football Hall of Fame. And then you had a guy like Ed Reed that was very lowly recruited, and of course, he was Defensive Player of the Year in the National Football League one year. And you look at Jonathan Vilma. I saw him at the Pro Bowl the other night. He's got a Super Bowl ring, and those guys had no stars. So again, I think the thing, as I said earlier, was the evaluation process. I think our coaches did really a good job of evaluating, and if we did that, these guys are going to really be, I think, special kids.
And then when we talked some months ago, one of the spots you were really anxious to address was offensive line. Got a couple, I think, good players. I got a really positive review on Peyton from Larry the other day, but in terms of JUCO-type guys, weren't able to do that. And it's looking pretty thin going in. I mean, a couple injuries, and that could be a real problem spot. So just can you talk a little bit about that particular area? Well,
that is because we did try to recruit some junior college offensive linemen. I think the thing that's going to make a difference is now when we go out that we will have a season. See, we're recruiting young men, and we weren't a Division I team. They were going to play, and sometimes they only have 2 years left, and you come in and you have 1 year of FCS, and then you go to FBS. So I think that hurt us some in recruiting junior college linemen. I would like to have had a couple more, but we didn't get some of those players. The thing that we have, I like our young players that we have here, and the other thing I like about them is they're in the weight room now. They're getting stronger, bigger, and they're going to be coached in the spring. They were coached in the fall, and I think those are going to be guys that are really going to step up and be good players for us. Again, to me, offensive line is an area where it's slow to develop. There's not many offensive linemen come in day one, so that is it a concern? Yes, it's a concern. It's something that, again, we have to deal with in reality, and we'll definitely try to recruit offensive linemen in the future. You can never have enough of those guys. Those guys are, they're kind of a special group, and also they're really a cliquish group. Those guys, they're fun to be around because they're all like brothers after they've been together for a few months. But I wish we did have a couple more, but I like the ones that we do have.
Larry, along those lines, I know the other day when we talked about the big guys, you said you can always coach them up, and I know you got a good one in Jim Marshall that can surely do that. But can you talk about you said you went after speed, athletic ability, stuff you really can't, you either are or you're not when you get here. Can you talk about that as far as the speed and the quickness and athletic ability a little bit?
Well, that's true, and I think I do believe that. I think you can coach the bigger guys sometimes. You know, again, you can't coach some of the things these athletic guys can do. I think again, the one thing about the big guys, we do have several. We feel like really quality walk-on potential kids that are coming in. They're offensive linemen, and those are going to be key. They'll have some great opportunities. But I think what I see the athleticism, I see guys, wide receivers, defensive backs, running backs that can run. They're athletic. They can they can really contribute on special teams. You know, I think the thing in some of in big games that I've been around that we've won, it's because you may be down or may break the game open with a kick return or block kick, something like that really changes the game, or a big play. And I think that's the thing. We have some of those athletic kids that can do that, can go the distance in one play and make it happen.
And then when we did talk last, in addition to linemen, one of the areas you really wanted to address was running back, and it certainly seems like you've done that. You know, I'm sure David will be a little bit more healthy this year, and then all of a sudden you've got Tevin Williams, Troy Williams, Chris Johnson coming back on board. That goes from an area where maybe it was a little weak to now, having an excess of candidates. So can you talk about that spot?
Well, I think it's a very strong class of running backs we were able to sign and attract. I think it's been a huge group. I think, and a good group. And I think again, with the group that we have here now, and Brandon Armstrong, you can include in that as what I call kind of a slash player, because Brandon's an outstanding receiver as well as a running back. But I think with David Glasgow, David had really a good year last year when he was healthy. He just needs to get healthy. But I think this group of running backs, I would take this group of running backs anywhere I've been.
And then just, I guess, another spot that looks like you've really addressed, or linebacker, defensive back. Those were some spots where, a couple injuries really knocked you down in terms of depth, and all of a sudden it looks like those are some really healthy areas for you as well.
Well, we really needed to address our defense, and you're right. We had injuries with our linebacker core in the fall, and it really hurt us because it really hurt our defense from progressing the way we needed it to progress. And I think that's an area we had to address and had to get better at. And I think we did that. And I think with Cody Rogers, Cody missed a lot of the fall, and Cody's hopefully be back healthy. Had surgery, and again, expected to be ready to go in the spring, and that's going to be a huge addition for us, having him back, having him back healthy. But I think, again, the linebacker core for us and the defensive backs, again, also in special teams with those guys, I think that's going to be really a good addition, having those type guys in the secondary. And your linebackers are usually your guys on returns, coverages, and those things, because they can run and they can tackle.
Just one last question. Ryan Polite is a kid that really stands out statistically. I mean, I think 6th in state history, and I spent a lot of time talking to coaches, evaluators about, why wasn't he getting more attention, and I got, a variety of stories. What's your impression about, maybe what he might have been lacking, and just how, excited you are to have a kid that has that kind of experience under his belt?
Well, I'm very excited about having Ryan, and I think the thing that, too, he's been very well evaluated. I know Coach Rourke was there. I know Coach Bush, our offensive coordinator, spent time and watched practice, and had a chance to know him and family, and I think he's going to be a great signee for us. And he's an athlete, but he's coming here as a quarterback. I mean, we signed him as a quarterback, and I think why he wasn't more heavily, I don't know that. I really don't even know who we recruited, to be honest with you. The thing we try to do, we try to make our own evaluations and recruit the people that we feel like that we need and feel like the type of people that we want to recruit. And I think one thing that you find in the state of Texas, I know when I was at Oklahoma State, Pat Jones, at that time the head coach, made a statement that you could go into Texas and let everybody have anybody they want, and you come in after everybody's signed, and you can sign a great signing class. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know this. There are a lot of players in Texas that are out there. And I think Ryan Polite, again, statistically, as good as any of them. And I think more than that, as a person, he's as good as any. And true, I think, as a potential player.
Coach, you already talked a little bit about the local guys, the big recruiting class in San Antonio. From the guys that you got, how much can they contribute to the program? The San Antonio guys.
Well, early they'll have to, because those are our guys. They're veterans. They're semi-veterans, I guess. No, they will, and that's the thing. Why our summer program is going to be critical for them, and getting in summer school, getting a good start academically, but and most important too, get in the weight room and get around our guys, pass, run, catch, and all those things, and become a part of our team, because that's a big part of it. It's just the camaraderie you have, because normally if you have fourth and fifth year seniors, they know the drill, they know the guys, and pretty well know who's going to play. And I think young guys coming in here that want to play early, they're going to have an opportunity to play early, so they're going to have a great opportunity to contribute. We'd like to be able to redshirt some. Don't know if that's going to be possible or not, and that'll all kind of play out as we get here in the fall. I left out one. Imagine that. I left out a young man by the name of Tristan Wade out of John Tyler, and don't want to leave him out, because he really he's the talk of East Texas. Would you agree with that, Coach Menifee? He's an outstanding player, and it's kind of funny because he, why would somebody get left out? I think with Tristan wasn't left out. He could have gone several places, but I think the thing, Tristan didn't actually start, I think, till his junior year. They had like 22 seniors on that group, and comes in as a starter, and outstanding family, and really as a safety, he's going to be, I think, a great player for us. And again, when you go around and talk to different schools, different coaches, they can't. You got Tristan Wade. You got. That's the things you like to hear, because those are the people that play against them year in, year out. And Tristan's going to be, I think, a great addition for us. And we're really, when I was at Tulsa, we recruited heavily in East Texas, and I hadn't been there in a while. But when I went back through there, that's a big wow factor in East Texas. Those guys, they love football, have great facilities there. They have great football there. The coaching's outstanding, and that's going to be, I think, going to be a good stop for us. And it's nice to have somebody from East Texas every year come and play for us. Thank you.